I'm gonna end it right here. And then the next day comes and I'm like, I can't, because it originally was a 1-year goal, and everybody all year was telling me you won't make it a year, you won't make it a year. And at the end of that year, I fucking hated streaming so much. I wanted nothing more than to get to that end of the year. I was going to take like a month off or maybe disappear altogether. And once the first came around, and it was like I was no longer doing it because I was trying to reach a goal, or I was no longer doing it for like, you know, some sort of like compulsive reason. It was just because I want to. It was like a massive second wind, and it's hard to stop. You know, it's become so big a part of your daily life, you know, of just finding that time to get in and chat with those people that you talk to every day on the internet.
I don't know how people stream every single day. Like, holy shit. If I stream every day, I get burned out. Like, I like dread opening Streamlabs, because I'm just like, I can't. I need like.
I went through that a lot, but I feel like it's something you kind of learn to get past, and then once you do, I think it's the only thing that keeps me consistent. I have a good feeling that when I do start missing days, I'm gonna start missing a lot of days and a lot more days, and then I'm gonna turn into the guy that I used to be. It would stream for a few days, then take a few months off, and then stream for a couple days and a few weeks. That streaming every day keeps me kind of on point, but I also think it's bad, you know, as far as numbers. Like, I think my averages would be higher if I didn't stream every day. It certainly doesn't help me in terms of, you know, trying to do that whole, oh, I'm gonna be a Twitch partner, which is never gonna happen. I've given into that. Fuck it. If it happens, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But
that's
at the end of the day,
way to live, though. Like, not
at the end of the day, I stream because I enjoy it. You know,
silly rubes.
Yeah, I feel like ever since I started doing this, I do not sleep. Like, I super enjoy it a lot, but I ain't doing this after work every day. Like,
sleep? Who? I don't know
like
her.
4 hours a night now, and it is not. And I probably need to get that under control.
There's a little bit of a validation that comes with doing it, because usually people that stick around a lot agree with you, right? And so it can get a little addicting in insofar as like, oh, hey, I found some like-minded people. Oh, cool. And we can talk about different stuff. And there'll be something I disagree with. And then, and then they feed back in. And so, yeah, people get addicted to that kind of shit. Luckily, did YouTube first. And fuck all that shit. I've seen way too many peers think that they're big, important people because of that shit. It's so weird. So it's cool. Also, this is something that doesn't happen on YouTube. Like... And I don't know, there's some smaller people, and like I'm not like that big of a streamer, right? Like, I'm certainly not 300-400 at best.
You got that purple check mark.
I sure do.
That's
but
good
like,
enough.
And I'm not giving it back. But
I just want free drinks at TwitchCon. I am not even gonna lie about it. That's all.
Wait, do I get free drinks with a check mark?
Yep.
You get access to like a lounge that has like drinks.
Fuck me up. Okay.
It's like a game changer right there.
Next year,
free shit to people just that were partnered. They had signs up like, "Hey, are you partnered? Come talk to us for a free gift." And I'm like, "Well, fuck me."
Yeah, that's
or like
dope.
even just passing through areas that are like partner areas. They're like, actually, you can't pass through here, and it's like you have to walk all the way around.
You,
oh my!
You silly! You mean a roofied beer? True. Yeah. No, I like that. I like that we have quick access to each other. It's nice. The YouTube communities get really isolated, and Twitch.
I do feel like there's a lot more collaboration on Twitch than there's on YouTube. I don't do YouTube personally, but just in what I've seen, you know, from people that do YouTube content.
Now I feel like the Twitch partners are the 1%, and we're all plebeians, you know? Like, the real bourgeoisie we have to overthrow.
There's someone in my chat that's like... There's someone in my chat going, Bastier destroyed your arguments, Jake, all night. Trump 2020. Whoops.
Whoops. You know, guess what? Just in case, I'd like to make it clear, Donald Trump is a grifter who's trying his hardest to destroy all the things that make the United States a wonderful, unique, and yes, exceptional place at the seat of the table of democracies and capitalist countries in the world. So you get another term of Donald Trump. You're basically trying to spend the next 5 years subverting this country and all the things that make it great.
Do you know why?
Multiracial democracy and free markets, things he's trying to destroy.
Do you know why I told you that? Is so that you would say that exact thing, and that person would hear it. Okay.
Because just to let you know, the folks in my chat are all saying that Lecture Fan, a great streamer by the way, has beat me in this debate as well. So that's kind of like the meme. Trump 2020, Lecture Fan would have destroyed you, Basti.
Not a big fan of Lecture. That's okay.
I like. We had a debate on universal basic income, and I think we're gonna have one on
I like that Lecture Fan comes on. I don't like lecture
No.
fans' opinions.
I don't like the characterizations sometimes that he has.
Yeah.
That like he paints the left in this very broad brush. We had a podcast where we were on with him, and like everybody there was like a left, or like what we colloquially, talk about as lefty. And he's like,
He loves to say the left does this.
yeah, and he was like, the left wants gun. They don't want anyone to own guns, and everyone there was like, no, we just want a little bit more regulation and like maybe wait times. And he's like, no, this is what the left wants, and it's like.
I wonder how he'd feel about Bernie Sanders, like, literally coming out and being like, no, I'm against mandatory buybacks. I think those are unconstitutional. Like, what would he say?
They are.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But then he doesn't. Anyways, I don't want to.
Like,
Like,
ban people that disagree.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, again, I disagree with Lecture Fan a lot. We're going to do a debate where I think at some point in the next couple of weeks where I'm for pretty much open borders, and he's not, and that'll be a fun discussion.
I like Lecture Fan. I consider him a friend, but I mean, me and him disagree on quite a bit as well. There's certainly varying beliefs, and opinions on people on the right, just like there is on the left.
There's people on the left that I don't think are my friends, and they have bad takes. That's fine. That's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's totally fine to be like, you're not my friend. But I mean, like,
Yeah, of
you know
course.
what? If you want more friends, go for it, Steve.
Yeah.
You're pretty accepting. I think that's a good quality. I just think, personally, I think surrounding yourself with some people that are just too far away from where I sit on things is not necessarily super healthy. Like, I'm fine with people having a disagreement like this.
Super healthy
kind of
having only people around me that I.
Well, no, I
agree with.
agree. That could be equally unhealthy. I don't mean that. I mean like being my friend, right?
Also, I think that it's more than just like the people that you politically align with. Like there are people who
Oh,
are
yeah. I have
like
religious friends.
left-leaning, and I just like I don't really get along with them, but that's because of how like they debate or how they argue, which I just generally think is done in really bad faith. And then there's
I think if you're an
agree with that.
like for instance, I could be friends with Senator Sykes. We disagree, but he's very honest and he stays.
What happened to Senator Sykes? Is he even?
I don't know what's happening,
Yeah.
but I think that guy. I think I could really enjoy his company in a personal space, like if we lived near each other or whatever. I would disagree with him, but he's reasonable. He's like, hey, this thing we disagree on, but we're talking about the same reality. It's not dishonest and it doesn't get charged up. It's just something we disagree on. I could be friends with that person. It's rare that you find conservatives or far left people that will do that, though.
That's true. It's
I
tough
don't know.
to, like,
It's kind of crazy because I've had conversations in my Discord with a guy who we first met him because we were talking about Antifa and political violence and such. And he comes in and he's like, hey, I bet you guys are the ones that say things like Antifa are the real fascist, aren't you? And, some people are like, well, yeah, I mean, they do have some fascist tendencies. And he was getting really mad. And we're all thinking like, okay, this guy must be super far left. No, it turns out that he self-identifies as a fascist. First person I've ever met. And in my Discord, we're having a fairly civil conversation with people that are consider themselves communists. Myself, this guy who apparently is a fascist, pretty
Nick Fuentes,
standard conservative Republicans. I mean, people all across the board and, actually having a decent conversation. It was the biggest mind fuck in the world.